Government of the Federation, the Chief of Staff, Honorable Minister of Defense, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Defense, Chief of Defense Staff and Service Chiefs, Head of Security and Paramilitary Agencies, distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. I am pleased to be invited here today as a special guest of honor as the commissioner of the 700 Ashok Leyland troops carrying vehicle procured by the federal government of Nigeria. These vehicles, I understand, were assembled by Stallion Motors Limited at Ojo, Lagos. This is an important milestone in the annals of the armed forces of Nigeria, especially the troops engaged in operation in various theaters. This demonstrates the commitment and the importance the federal government attaches to the fight against insurgency, criminalities, and the welfare of personnel. Today, the activities of non-state actors and traditional criminals have impacted the overall security of the country. These threats are not peculiar to Nigeria alone. They have impacted negatively on global, regional, and sub-regional peace and security environments, giving rise to massive continental immigration, internally displaced persons, and grave humanitarian crisis across the world. Consequently, most governments employ varying degrees of hard and soft power elements to tackle this prevailing insecurity. As a country, we are very proud that in the past 7 years, we have been able to revitalize our armed forces for the full restoration of Nigeria's territorial integrity that was once violated by Boko Haram insurgents and other forms of criminalities in the country. Some of you may recall that in my inaugural speech as president, I promised to put an end to Boko Haram insurgency, which hitherto has posed a grave threat to Nigeria's territorial integrity. In fulfilling this promise, I made professionalism and capacity building of the armed forces a major security policy thrust of this administration. Training and the acquisition of brand new platforms and other supporting equipment for the armed forces of Nigeria and other security agencies were intensifying. The procurement process of military hardware was simplified, thereby reducing inefficiency and corruption. This was in practical fulfillment of my promise to re-professionalize and adequately equip our military so that they could effectively discharge their constitutional responsibilities. I have no doubt that the employment of these vehicles, which I have just commissioned, would increase the lifting capacity of the armed forces of Nigeria, thereby adding to the combat efficiency levels. I therefore charge you to consolidate on the gains we have achieved towards sustaining the peace and stability of the country. I wish to commend the resolve of our armed forces towards the defeat of insurgency and its support in maintaining law and order, as was demonstrated in the just concluded presidential and National Assembly elections. I want to assure you all that your labor will not be in vain. The administration will continue to support you in every respect, including improving your welfare. Let me firmly assure Nigeria that the federal government remains steadfast and committed to winning the war against insurgency and other criminalities. We will not relent until Nigeria, and indeed Nigeria, both at home and in the diaspora, are free from the menace of terrorism. Finally, let me use this opportunity to thank the Minister of Defense, the Chief of Defense Staff, and personnel of the Armed Forces of Nigeria for this milestone achievement. Thank you, and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Thank you very much, sir.
President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Mr. Boss Mustafa, the Chief of Staff, to Mr. President, Professor Ibrahim Gambari, representative of Honorable Minister of Finance, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Defense, the Permanent Secretary, State House, the Chief of Defense Staff, the Service Chiefs, Principal Staff Officers from the Defense and Service Headquarters, Directors from the Ministry of Defense, the Managing Director, Stallion Motors, senior officers, invited guests, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me great honor and privilege to address this important gathering at this auspicious occasion of the commissioning of 700 Ashok Leyland motors are truth-carrying vehicles. This is yet another significant milestone amongst many initiatives of the President Muhammad Buhari administration in repositioning the armed forces of Nigeria to tackle contemporary security challenges in the country. It is well known that the country has been facing myriads of daunting security challenges, some of which include insurgency, militancy, kidnapping, as well as cattle rustling and armed banditry in several parts of the country. However, these security challenges have been confronted with a lot of zeal and professionalism through the transformational reforms of His Excellency President Muhammad Buhari. Pertinently, the transformation process has been anchored on three pillars of capacity building, restructuring, and truth welfare. Nonetheless, it is worthy of note that the process of transforming the armed forces of Nigeria over the years has not been easy, given the numerous multinational security and economic challenges facing the country. And notwithstanding the current administration has security as a priority in its agenda. Hence, the need to equip the armed forces with all necessary platforms to ensure peace and security in the country. Very importantly, this administration is cognizant of the significance of troops and logistics mobility for effective operational efficiency. Distinguished invited guests, it is worthy to state that this project was initiated by the Office of the National Security Advisor in the year 2014 for Mrs. Stallion Motors Limited to supply 50 buses and 700 troops-carrying vehicles to the armed forces. Notably, the company delivered the 50 buses in February 2015, while the 700 troop-carrying vehicles were retained due to some administrative errors in the contract. Consequently, the ministry constituted a team led by the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Defense, to interface with the company and resolve all pending issues, as well as facilitate the delivery of these vehicles. Distinguished guests, what we are about to witness today is the outcome of the tedious deliberations which highlights the in-depth cooperation between the ministry and the private sector. At this juncture, permit me to state that the complexity of crimes in various spheres of operation requires all actors, both public and private, to synergize efforts to safeguard the nation from all forms of anti-establishment activities. It is therefore most pleasant to take delivery of these troop-carrying vehicles, especially at this period, to facilitate the operational activities of the armed forces. Instructively, the armed forces has maintained an aggressive posture in its operational activities to combat various forms of menace within the country. These are evident across various theaters of operation and the support to ANEC in the ongoing 2023 elections. With the induction of these vehicles, the armed forces will be better equipped to ensure troops are conveyed safely and timely to objective areas, which will enhance the operational efficiency of the services. It is also instructive to note that as part of the President's implementation of the Executive Order 2, these vehicles were assembled in Lagos, thus providing employment to Nigerians. Furthermore, the company is also going to train the armed forces engineers to for the maintenance of these vehicles. It is my fervent prayer that more international companies will begin by local assembly and subsequently local production. I therefore commend the effort of Stallion vehicles for this huge investment in Nigeria. These and many other achievements recorded so far in this transformation process have been made possible by the strong support of the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Nigeria, President Muhammad Buhari, who is irrevocably committed to repositioning the armed forces to better meet the complex security challenges facing our dear nation. The armed forces of Nigeria, and indeed the nation, is grateful for His Excellency's dynamic, exemplary leadership that has paved the way to the series of battlefield successes we have recorded in the country. It is instructive to note that His Excellency, Mr. President, has facilitated the massive acquisition for the Army, Navy, and Air Force with the state-of-art equipment, including fighter jets, several types of ships, and fast patrol boats. Finally, I want to also seize this opportunity to pay tribute to our officers and men who have paid the supreme sacrifices in the service of their fatherland. May their souls rest in perfect peace. Amen. I thank you all for finding time to honor our invitation. God bless you, and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you.